A place that is spoken about only in whispers. A dark area that spawns the beginnings of urban legends. A place where anything can happen and usually does. During the light of day, it hides just outside of view. But when the sun goes down, spirits, creatures of the night, roam free, and things do go bump in the night. It is in every state and every country, and there is no escaping it, no matter how safe you feel behind your locked doors and latched windows. So we invite you to turn down the lights and turn up your radio while we join Dave Schrader and Tim Dennis, your hosts, on a journey into the darkness on the edge of town.
Well, good evening and welcome to another edition of Darkness on the Edge of Town Paranormal Radio Show. It's Sunday, October 5th. Thank you for joining us here. Sitting across the board from me, Mr. Tim Dennis. I'm Dave Schrader, your host. How are you this evening, Tim?
It's happening, Poppy.
Well, we had a good show last night. That was really interesting.
Yep.
And if you missed it, screw you. No, shame on you for missing it. Go back and check. We do have the show up on our archives already, and we talked to Len Marzulli about politics, prophecy, and the supernatural. Interesting show. Had a lot of fun talking to him. As a matter of fact, we're going to try to have him back on later on in November to talk about some of the points that we weren't able to get to. Tonight, though, we're going to be talking about near-death experiences. We're going to be talking to Dr. Diane Corcoran and Maggie Callanan, and they will be on in hours 2 and 3 at 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock. They'll be with us. Got a lot of cool stuff going on. Tim?
Yes?
Our buddies from Digital Dowsing, a.k.a. GhostShop.com, Bill Chappell, they've created the Ovilus, the Paranormal Puck. They have made it possible for our attendees to come to our Halloween party, and they're picking up basically the cover charge tab for everybody. So,
because Digital Dowsing knows how to party, baby.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you come on in. There's a cash bar. There's snacks and food that you can purchase there as well. But you can party along with Dave and Tim and who else we have? We have Nicole coming out. We've got
Susan.
Our book critic is going to be there. We've got Bree Sanders is going to be with us, our national news correspondent. I think even intern Ben is going to be out there at the hotel. Yeah, she's nodding at me.
Wow.
So we have intern Ben who's going to be there. We've got the whole cast except for...
you forgot the fish and chip eater, did you?
No, Adrian. I said he'll be there. Yeah,
right.
From England, we have Adrian Lee is going to be in town with us. So we've got a lot of...
the sore loser.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he doesn't celebrate 4th of July as well as we do when he comes over here.
No, not at all.
Boy, poor guy. Hey, speaking of having fun, this Thursday, Tim.
Yes.
There is a brand new horror movie coming out.
Yes, there is.
It's called Quarantine.
Yep.
Have you seen the commercials for this thing?
Yeah, people being drugged into dark hallways.
Yeah, dude, it looks terrifying.
Somebody getting shot as they're leaving a building.
From what I gather, it's kind of like a zombie-esque movie, but it's shot like a Blair Witch Hole. The whole idea is this woman and her camera guy, this reporter and her camera guy, go out to spend a night with a fire department and just kind of go on some calls with them, and they get a call to go to this apartment building. When they get there, there's these crazy screams coming from inside. People are getting attacked. When they try to leave, the building has been totally locked down. They can't get out. All their cell phones, internet, everything has been cut, and nobody gets in or out. There's nothing going on. And then the only reveal is the videotape that they got from the camera from the whole escapade. So it's kind of got that Cloverfield feel, the whole thing, but it looks really spooky, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. And we're going to be out at the Rosedale AMC Theaters this Thursday, and
we're going to let you see it before you can see it.
That's right. You can come see it before you see it at a special screening with Darkness Radio. Dave, Tim, and our movie critic Nicole Remini will be out there. If you want tickets to come see the movie with us, we have passes, Tim.
Yes, we do.
2 for passes, as a matter of fact. You call in, you get a pass. It's good for you and a friend to come see the movie with us out at Rosedale AMC Theaters this Thursday. If you want to come out to Minnesota and watch this with us, we've got a whole staff in there ready to answer your phones this evening, so we won't run into the same situation we did last night. But we've got 25 passes for the movie this week. So feel free to join us. We have 25 passes to join us this week. Again, if you want more information about our cool Halloween party, the rooms are all rented already. That's something that was bought and paid for already. But you can come out and ghost hunt with us, or actually party at the Palmer House in Sauk Center, Minnesota. Come on out, party with us, have some fun, and we are going to auction off, Tim, 10 spots for people that want to stay and ghost hunt with us from 1:30 in the morning till 4:30 in the morning. And that money that we raise at night is going to go to the Sauk Center Veterans Home that they're building.
Yep.
and refurbishing. So it'll be a great chance for that to happen. If you want to be a part of that, just go check out our website at darknessevents.com. Just show up out at the Palmer House in Sauk Center. There are a couple great hotels right in the area. We'll be putting up some phone numbers for those hotels so you can stay locally if you want to drink and party, and you're very close that way to do that. So we've got all that going. I also want to mention that this Friday, October 10th, at the Earl Brown Center in Brooklyn Park, we have got, we don't, but Lisa Williams, the famous TV psychic, is going to be there.
Yep.
Doing readings, and I believe there's still tickets available. You can get tickets by calling 1-888-810-2065. Tell them you heard about it on Darkness Radio. You want to come out and see Lisa Williams, 888-810-2065. You can also go to edgelife.net, and there's information up there about how you can go see Lisa. I'm going to go out there, hopefully get a chance to meet with her, and you'll see me walking around. So come on up and say hi, introduce yourself. It'd be great to meet you there. Let's go, Tim. We've got our
Let's go.
We've got our beautiful young lady all the way from Seattle, Washington.
It's so exotic this time of year.
I know it is. And she's going to be reviewing a new book for us this evening. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Susan Cummins. Yay! Welcome to the show again, Susan. What book are we reviewing this week? Yeah, well, we like to make people feel welcome.
Thank you.
You bet. What's going on tonight? What book are we going to be reviewing? Ghost, did you say it was called?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Yeah, Ghost, the first-hand account into the world of paranormal activity by Katherine Ramsland.
Oh, yeah. Great. Okay. And so what can you tell us about this book? Now, is it? It's not a novel?
No, it isn't. Oh, my gosh. Let me tell you. You pick up books, and you start to read them, and you know when a book is going to be a good book. I couldn't put it down. It's absolutely fabulous. First of all, let me tell you a little bit about Katherine. She has a Ph.D. in philosophy and a master's in forensic and clinical psychology, so she's no slacker.
Right.
She started off by writing books. Well, she actually wrote a book. I believe the name of it was Piercing the Darkness, Uncover the Vampires in America Today, or something of that nature. I don't have it written right in front of me. Anyway, she started exploring vampires. And with this, she came in contact with a vampire who told her the story about this other vampire by the name of Christian who had killed himself to become a powerful ghost, left behind a ring, gave her this ring, this haunted ring, and she started on this journey of wanting to understand about ghosts, wanting to know more about the paranormal. And she had admitted since she was a child that she always wanted to see a ghost. So she takes her clinical brain and tries to wrap it around, paranormal investigating. She gets into EVPs. It is so fascinating that I had to take it with me to work to read it in between my personal cases. And then I found my receptionist reading the book, and she wouldn't give it back to me. So I said, give me my book. So it's wonderful. Absolutely loved it.
Great. And she really delves into... Now, it sounds like a novel the way you explain it, though, that she meets a vampire who tells her about another powerful vampire who offed himself and is haunting his ring. Is that the theory, or what's...
That's a theory, that his ghost is attached. And when the one vampire gave her the ring, he says, you know what, he's yours now. I gladly give him to you. She does start to have strange experiences. She goes from Savannah, Georgia. She goes to Gettysburg, trying to figure out the world of ghosts. She even mentions George Meek. She studies the greats in paranormal research, trying to find her way. It is fascinating.
So it's a page turner. What? And this book is available everywhere right now.
Yes. Well, what I did, and this is so funny. I actually went down to my bookstore, which happens to be Barnes & Noble, and went to the section for paranormal, and I just walked away with armfuls of books and just started to go through. I have so many to read. They all look interesting. This is the first one that I picked up because I sort of wanted to get away from the Dean Koontz and such and really delve into the subject that I love. Fascinating book, absolutely wonderful. I know I keep saying that. Great book, highly recommended.
All right, excellent. So out of
5 ghosts, folks, 5 ghosts.
Out of 5, so 5 stars. Technically, our 5 ghost category. You're going to say that there's 5. You give it 5 out of 5.
I do. I enjoy
Great.
it that much. I think it's also because I can relate to it. I think most people that are into the paranormal will be able to relate to this book on one level or another, and it's fascinating. It just brings you right there into some stories that we all know about, but with some greater detail.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Susan. And for all of you that are interested, you can reach Susan by going to darknessradio.com. you'll see the book and movie review section. Click on that. You'll see pictures of our lovely ladies here, and you can click on the information there. You can actually send over books that you'd like her to review and talk about, and there's also links to all of the reviews that Susan's done for us, so you can read more about it if you've missed any past reviews as well. Well, Susan, thank you. Have a safe week, and we're going to see you out here at the Palmer House Hotel, right? You're going to come on out and party with us?
I am going to be there, and I can't wait. We're going to have a great time. I hope to meet a lot of new people.
Great. Well, thanks again. We'll take care of you later.
All right, bye, you guys.
Bye, Susan. All right, now we're going to go over to our national news correspondent, waiting on the line all the way from the state of Missouri. Ladies and gentlemen, Bree Sanders. Good evening, Bree.
Hi, guys.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing good. So this was a busy week for news, huh?
It is. I have tons of stuff this week.
Good. Well, let's start off right away. Where are we going to go in the United States first?
Well, this was just kind of funny. This happened in New York, and I just think it's funny that I heard Adrian's story last night about the horse in the ventilation system of an apartment complex.
Uh-huh.
It seems like our stories always parallel each other each week. It's really weird. There's a story here now, this week, in Brooklyn, that the tenants are saying that their landlord tried to kick them out of the building by unleashing the scent of dead cats throughout the building. Now, the tenants were rent stabilized, which means they're not subject to big increases in rent. They kind of have a set rent. And apparently the company that recently bought the building decided that dead cats was the way to make them want to move out. So they didn't move out. They stayed and they sued. But I thought maybe that would explain the horse in the ventilation system.
So that's the way you think they're trying to get rid of... Oh, that's interesting. I guess cats would be a lot better than trying to haul a horse up and stick him into the...
Yeah, I don't know if it's worth the effort.
Oh, my.
Strange.
All right. Well, that's one way, I guess, to get your way, huh?
Right. Well, he didn't get his way, but anyway. And then my next story was, I just wanted to kind of touch on the O.J. Simpson deal.
Okay.
Basically, I'm assuming most people know this, but Friday, O.J. Simpson was found guilty of several, I think it was 12 counts of kidnapping, robbery.
Wasn't it 13 counts?
It might have been.
Yeah, because the weird thing, go ahead with your news story, but I believe there was a series of 13s is what's so weird about this story, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, he was found guilty of robbery, kidnapping, and assault, and all these things. And he faces, some pretty serious jail time. But I guess what happened was he'd held up 2 sports memorabilia dealers at gunpoint or something with 5 other guys. And basically, the whole thing is he got convicted, and the conviction came 13 years to the day of his acquittal for the murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman.
Right.
Which is crazy. That happened, I guess, October 3rd, 1995.
Right. So, yeah, that's weird. They've got the 13 counts, and it took place 13 years to the date from the time. So I guess karma does have a way of turning its head back at you, huh?
Exactly.
What an idiot. You'd think you skirted one of the biggest murder cases in history. Wouldn't you do your best to avoid the law? The guy's been in trouble numerous times since that, and then to go do something stupid like I don't get it.
Yeah. Well,
but I guess thankfully, karma and reality have struck and caught Mr. Simpson right where he belongs to be.
Exactly.
You got another quick short story before we go to break here?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. This is in New Jersey. Residents of New Jersey are finding chunks of mystery meat washing up on shore. And it appears to be chunks of some sort of massive marine animal, I guess. The largest piece was about 5 feet long. And they don't know exactly what it is. But I will say it does not appear to be ambergris. So I said ambergris, Dave. I beat you to the punch. Adrian actually owes me a drink now.
Did you hear that? She's throwing ambergris at us, Tim.
I love ambergris. What's ambergris?
Remember that was the nasty white cheese stuff that washed up on the shore in our story yesterday in England? People reading and it turns out it's whale poo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, ambergris.
I love me some whale poo.
Yuck.
Well, this is actually, they think this is internal organs from like a large shark or something, but they've also washed up in Delaware. So it's interesting.
Really? So it's happening all over?
Yeah, a couple places.
Okay. Well, it's really sad when anorexia and bulimia hits our ocean critters too, huh? Throwing up between those big meals. We're going to take a quick break. You guys stick with us. We're listening to the Weird World news here of national proportion with our national correspondent, Bree Sanders. You're listening to the best in paranormal talk radio right here every Saturday and Sunday with you from 9 p.m. to midnight. We'll be back with more. Well, in lieu of our strange little weird animal tales, Tim, put in a little bit of Tarzan boy for us here.
I did. Actually, we had a caller in the break who said that the Abercrombie and Fitch you were talking about
Yes.
is actually whale vomit.
Is it whale vomit, not whale poop?
It's whale vomit, yeah.
Oh, well, let's see. There is something to this then, Bree. We're seeing that our sea creatures are becoming bulimic.
Yeah.
Correct, yeah.
They're eating too much kelp, and then they realize that it makes their ass look a little bigger than it should. And
Too much Full House.
No good.
Under the sea, so...
Hey, we're going to mention again real quickly, if you want to see the movie Quarantine this Thursday with Tim, Nicole, and I from Darkness Radio, give us a call right now. We do still have some tickets. They're going like crazy. We have a bunch of phone calls coming in. Give us a call if you're interested in coming out this Thursday to the Rosedale AMC Theaters. Be there about 6:30. We'll give you out your passes at the event. Give a call in. Tim or Ben will take your information, and we'll see you this Thursday. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's go back to Bree. Bree, where else are we going to go with some more weird world news of the national perspective? Tim drives him nuts when I just ramble on like that.
We're going to New London, Connecticut.
Okay.
And in New London, a couple discovered what actually looks like another Montauk monster.
Oh, really?
Right. And let's see, it's Ocean Beach Park. A creature about 2.5 feet long with a pointed turtle-like snout. And they said powerful shoulders. I'm not quite sure what that means, but it washed up on
Come on, you've seen me, Bree. You know what powerful shoulders look like.
Anyway.
All right, knock it off. It's not that funny.
Scientists are guessing that it's a raccoon, which is that what they determined the other one was?
Well, Jeff Corwin from the Animal Planet weighed in on the last one, and he believes that it was just a badly deteriorated raccoon.
Okay.
And that the what they thought was like a beak or the little beak pinchers at the front was nothing more than the rest of the mouth had deteriorated, and you were seeing the canine teeth of the raccoon. However, does it say anywhere in the story, did they actually take a picture of this? Did they save the body? Is there any research going to be done on it?
I'm not sure. It didn't say anything. But I know that I think they took pictures, and from the pictures, scientists were saying that they think it's a raccoon. But I mean, the couple actually they were pretty freaked out about it. They said they described it as alien looking, and I think the woman even said that she was not going to swim in the ocean ever again.
Yeah, that's that's kind of icky.
Yeah.
Icky, that's an important term I just used there. All right, where are we going to next?
Well, I have a quick story about an Arizona man who claims he has a video of the chupacabra. And he was traveling on a back road, and he took a video of the animal with his cell phone. So it's not the greatest video. It's not really close up, but you can actually look it up on YouTube.
Okay. Now, you sent us a link for that as well, right?
I did.
All right, so Mike and Delia, our great web people, have got it up. If you guys are listening online right now or on the radio and you want to check on the internet, and for those of you that are listening to the podcast, we'll keep the story up. Go to darknessradio.com and click on the news desk, and by Bree, there should be a link to some of the stories that you'll hear tonight, and you can look up the video and audio that she's supplied us with as well. But go ahead.
I was just going to say, I watched the video. I think it looks like it's strange. It looks like a dog with weird ears. It kind of looks like a donkey and a dog. It's strange, but he claims it was not a dog. I guess you can look and decide for yourself. But
well, that's funny because that falls on the heels of about a month and a half ago. Mm-hmm. The Texas trooper who was driving on a dirt road and caught videotape on his desk cam or dashboard cam of what he calls a chupacabra, and again, it looks like a dog with big ears, almost like a hairless dog. With short front legs, though, they said that was kind of the weird distinguishing factor. It just didn't look right.
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely think they're dogs, but that's just me.
Okay.
But yeah, take a look. It's interesting.
All right, and that is, again, up on our site. Go to darknessradio.com, click on the news desk, and somewhere around Bree, there's links for the different stories there.
All right. Now, this one's kind of weird. Police in Cocoa Beach, Florida. They're investigating. They discovered...
In Cocoa Beach? I know what they're investigating. Anthony Major Nelson and his genie.
What?
Isn't that from the old TV show I Dream of Jeannie? Didn't it take place in Cocoa Beach, Florida?
I have no idea.
They want to know why Major Bellows keeps vanishing and NASA keeps turning into a giant pink bottle. Is that what's going on? No, not so much.
Okay.
All right.
No idea. I don't remember that show. Anyway...
Oh, she doesn't remember that show.
I don't.
Can you feel the wound to my heart on that one, Tim? Way back when shows used to be funny. All right, go on. Where are we? What are we doing in Cocoa Beach?
In Cocoa Beach, they found around a lifeguard stand, actually, a bunch of decapitated chickens. And I guess they were just scattered around, and there were feathers all around them. They think, at this point, they think that it's probably related to some kind of, religious ceremony.
How does it differ from any other barbecue in Cocoa Beach? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, and on a beach, I could see a lot of choke chickens, but not decapitated ones.
Oh, easy, sir.
What? No, you don't want to get blood on the sand, Tim, is what I'm saying.
Well, so you just choke them nice and tight?
Shut up.
Until they expire?
Next.
All right, next, did you say?
Yes.
Okay, I have two quick ones here. I just had to mention these. They're absolutely not really paranormally related at all, but we're always talking about food and crimes with food and stuff like that, so I wanted to throw these in.
All right.
There was a man in Boston this week that actually stabbed himself repeatedly after getting into a fight with his brother over a watermelon. I guess his brother's dog had eaten his watermelon, and he was so angry that he decided to stab himself just to show his brother that he wasn't afraid of pain, is what he said.
Wow.
He continued to do this until the police came and took him to the hospital. And I'm assuming he survived. There was nothing.
Look what you made me do, Tim. Look what you made me do.
If you just take that knife and cut the watermelon in half, there's no argument.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Watermelon is good.
I don't know if it's worth stabbing myself over.
Yeah.
All right.
And then the second one was a 19-year-old man in Washington has been charged with assault because he smeared peanut butter on a classmate's forehead. I guess he actually overheard his classmate telling somebody that he was allergic to peanuts, and for no reason whatsoever, the guy put peanut butter on his finger and put it on the kid's head. So he actually faces a $5,000 fine and possibly a year in jail.
For attempted murder or what?
I think you'd do more time for attempted murder. But, I don't know.
I don't know. Death by peanut butter, I don't know if you get really hard time for that.
For peanut butter?
Death by peanut butter, yeah. You might get sent to the Martha Stewart wing.
Right.
Well, do you remember the story? I think it was 2 years ago.
Peter Pan, serial killer.
Yeah, that poor girl that she had she kissed her boyfriend. It was her first kiss with a boy. They made out, and she died shortly after because he had been eating peanuts that night and didn't mention it to her, and she was deathly allergic to peanuts.
Oh, I know. I remember that.
That's freaky. All right. You got one more quick one before we go to break?
Oh, a quick one. I do, actually.
All right, let's hear it.
There are reports coming out of Florida State Prison that Ted Bundy's ghost is haunting the prison.
Really?
Yes. A guard at the prison claims that his ghost appears in the area where he was executed and in his former cell, I guess the cell that he spent, his last few hours in. And I guess from the article it says that the prisoners and the guards are all pretty scared, and I guess he scared some guards enough that they've actually quit their jobs.
No kidding.
No kidding.
Does it say anything like how long this ghost has been appearing? Has it been since Bundy was put to death, or is it just a recent thing?
I think it's pretty recent. And they're actually saying that a lot of people that work there, they don't want it getting out. So when people are having experiences, they're discouraging them from talking about it.
I was going to say, maybe we could put you on the task of trying to contact some of the people that were there.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, did they give any names in the articles of former security guards that left or anything?
No, they didn't.
Damn it.
They did not.
And for people that aren't familiar, Ted Bundy was a serial killer who was going on, I guess, kind of a roguishly handsome serial killer. His big thing was he'd wear a fake cast on his arm and ask women for help getting something into his car, and then he'd knock them out and take them and rape them and kill them and bury them somewhere. And he turned into this big. As a matter of fact, I think his character is what inspired the character of Hannibal Lecter, if I remember reading this correctly, in the Thomas Harris books for Red Dragon and Silence of the Lambs, because Bundy wanted to try to help police catch other people in ways to keep himself out of going to death row. So it's kind of an interesting deal. But yeah, Ted Bundy was put to death, what I think it was maybe even about 7, 8, 10 years ago, something like that.
It was more than that. You remember
the Green.
Our friend Eric Haas and I did a bit on the air that got us kicked off in college.
20 years ago?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we did a bit about the Ted Bundy execution.
Oh, geez.
Bought us a week suspension on KQAL.
Nicely done. All right. Well, so it was 20 years ago he was put to death. Wow. All right. Well, good story. We're going to take a quick break. Bree, stick with us, and everybody else keep listening. We're going to be back with some more strange and paranormal news from around the United States with our national correspondent, Bree Sanders. You're listening to Darkness Radio. Good evening and welcome back to Darkness Radio. I'm your host, Dave Schrader, sitting across the board from me, Tim Dennis. We're going to be out this Thursday at the Rosedale AMC Theaters. You can come out there, too. Be with us at 6:30. Give a call right now, and you can join us to see the brand new horror movie, Quarantine. Join Tim, Nicole, and Dave from Darkness Radio at the AMC Rosedale Theater this Thursday. The only way to get those passes is to give us a call. Pass is good for you and a friend. I hope that you'll join us. We're going to go back into tonight's national
better than
news.
A sharp eye in the stick. Or sharp stick in the eye. Yeah.
Oh,
that's what it is.
Let's work on that delivery.
Right.
We're going to go back to our national news correspondent, Bree Sanders. Bree, let's hear what you got next for us.
Okay, Dave. I remember last week, let's see, you had the guest from Area 51.
Right, Robert. Right? Mm-hmm.
He mentioned, this is so weird, because he mentioned the missing man, Steve Fawcett.
Right.
And then, like 2 or 3 days later, they actually found the plane in California?
Yeah, that's what I heard now. Some jogger or hiker was up in the mountains and actually found where the crash was. They found some of his ID that I guess was blowing around.
They did, yeah. I guess they found different kinds of ID. They found some money, like $100 bills, and I guess some clothing. And then wait. You
mean they actually gave back the $100 bills?
They did.
See, now that's where this story becomes paranormal. It ain't like Steve Fawcett's going to be using it now. I think I would have said, I found his wallet, but it was empty.
Right.
Oh, God. So what else did they find in this? Have they found his body yet?
They have found human remains. They found the plane. I guess, I'm assuming most people know who he is,
Right. Yeah, Steve Fawcett, he's a multimillionaire, and he was actually one of the guys that was trying to pioneer the space travel for independent people, so you didn't have to go through NASA. He was working on that, and Robert was pontificating on the show 2 weeks ago, wondering if maybe Steve Fawcett's death and disappearance had something to do with all that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting, but now they've found some stuff. All right, that's good to know.
Timing. Well, the wreckage of his plane has been found with human remains, and it's in Mammoth Lakes, California. It's in the Sierra Mountains.
Oh, okay.
And they think that, the plane had apparently slammed into the side of a mountain. The area where they found it's been flown over like 19 or 20 times by the California Civil Air Patrol. But they didn't consider that it was a likely place that he would have crashed, so they just kind of passed over it. And instead, I guess they'd been focusing kind of north of there. And, they looked over 20,000 square miles, and they spent millions of dollars trying to find him. And I guess, did they just call it off at some point?
Yeah, they called it off when they couldn't locate any remains or anything for a long time.
Right. I guess they actually declared him, legally dead or whatever that is, like in February.
Right.
So, but I guess they don't really know what happened at this point, but they think that there were large storm clouds, I guess, in the area.
Okay.
That night. And so, with the mountains, it's really possible that is what caused it. But what's really strange, there was an article that, I guess several months ago, there's a guy named Ed Dames.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of him. He's this self-proclaimed, they're called remote viewing experts.
Right, okay.
It's someone that uses ESP or psychic abilities to, get information about, I guess they could do missing people or objects that are, hidden that they can't find. And so, but he's really controversial for some reason. I guess he's had some issues, and he basically a few months ago said that Steve Fawcett was dead. He said that they would not find him in Nevada, which that's where he took off, and I think that they kind of were assuming he was somewhere in Nevada.
Right.
But he said they wouldn't find him in Nevada, and he said that they would find him in California in the Sierra Mountains. So,
and wow. And they have that all documented?
Yes.
Very cool.
So,
speaking of, talking about something like that, I'll make a mention. Next Saturday, we have kind of an exciting show coming up, Bree. We've got psychic medium Robbie Thomas, who I met last week out at the Louisville Mid-South Paranormal Conference. This guy's got and we had your report on him last week as well, right? With the story with the little boy that he was able to locate the killer in Louisville. He's extremely gifted, has helped solve a bunch of crimes. So he's going to come on our show next week, and we're going to have him on an hour earlier. Usually, our show, we spend the first hour doing news with you or Adrian. But next Saturday, for the first 2 hours of the show, we're going to be talking to Robbie Thomas, and we're also going to be, we're going to throw him 5 real cases.
Oh, wow.
On air to see if he can give us information and see if we can maybe help him crack one of these cases. We're going to try to get law enforcement officials from each one of the areas on the phone with us to take notes and see if there's anything that they can confirm or deny, or see if there's anything there that might help them in their search, and see if they will be willing to report back to us later if indeed they find any information that they can correlate with us.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty cool, huh?
That's awesome. Yeah.
So, yeah, we're working on that right now. We're trying to get, especially here in Minnesota, Jacob Wetterling was kind of the big case, almost like the Adam Walsh case that took place in about 19 years ago. And we're going to try to see if maybe he can give us some new insights on the Jacob Wetterling case. And also on that little girl, what's her name? Kaylee something or other, that little 3-year-old girl that went missing. So we're going to try to have him work on that as well for us on the air next week. And then 3 or 4 other cases we can dig up. But just thought I'd promo that as long as we're talking about psychic visions. What else you got for us?
Well, I have in Springfield, Massachusetts on Saturday, about 500 people gathered outside of Mercy Medical Center to view what some of them think that it's the image of the Virgin Mary. It's in a second-story window, and actually the window just goes to a vacant office inside the building.
Okay.
But the window image, I mean, people are out there praying, taking pictures, and from the parking lot, and the window was actually supposed to be replaced a few days ago, but the replacement was the wrong size, so it's still there. And it's been part of the hospital since the 1970s, so it's been there since, the building was constructed. And they can't explain it. I guess, they've checked it out, the glass on the front and the back, and they think that whatever's making the image has to be, in the middle somewhere.
Really?
Yeah, the hospital's actually trying to locate the manufacturer of the window to ask them what could cause that.
And is that one of the stories you sent us with pictures?
I did. I sent a link to, I think it's on YouTube, a little video that, shows it.
All right, great. Yeah, and Mike, Delia, if you're in the chat room, if you can pull that link and put it in the chat room so people can take a look at that, that'd be great. All right, go ahead. And where do we go next?
All right, we're going to New Jersey, back to New Jersey.
Looks like we got about 4 minutes left with you here, so we'll hit up a couple more stories, and then we got to go to Billy Murphy with Tech Talk tonight.
All right. Well, Turnpike authorities in New Jersey are complaining about signs being stolen. Someone keeps stealing the metal signs, the little mile marker signs on the road?
Right.
The mile marker sign that's 66.6.
Oh, are you kidding me?
What'd you say?
Are you kidding me? They're still in the 666 signs?
Yeah, they are. It's actually been happening all over the place, and I'm sure it's happened, kids, high school kids and stuff, I'm sure have done it in the past, but it's, I don't know, it seems like it's happening a lot, I guess, now, and the police are actually unsure about who's doing it. It could be religious people who are upset about the numbers association, in the Bible with the devil. College students could be doing it. Who knows? But, I guess in the last 5 years, or in the last 2 years, the sign had been the actual 66.6 mile marker sign on the turnpike has been stolen at least 5 times, and it costs like $50 to replace them.
Oh.
So they're really annoyed, But they might actually change the name of the road if the problems keep happening, and they've done that before. There's part of Highway 666 in I think it's in Nevada that runs up to Colorado or something like that. And they actually had to change the name of part of it because they had this problem. So
that's bizarre. Now, you had a couple of fun little eBay stories for us, didn't you?
I did.
All right, what do we got going?
On eBay. Someone is selling luck on eBay. They're selling a best of luck pendant. It's around $200, and the seller claims that the pendant contains a form of luck that makes the best possible scenario always happen for you. And you can go on eBay and find it, and I think that's the one we put a link. Did we put a link for that?
I'm not sure. I didn't see it.
I put a related link, I think. But
okay.
The seller gives personal examples of why, she thinks that this gives you good luck. And, they come across a little bit strange, if you ask me, but they do describe somebody who seems to just be having good luck. But the seller says that the pendant was bought, then heated. They heated it up till it was kind of soft. And then they used it's like sound frequencies, so a noise, that can create a shape.
Okay.
They supposedly picked out the exact frequency of something that brings good luck. So, and that's the video, the link. It's really cool if you go look it up.
All right, and again, that's on our site at darknessradio.com. Go to the news section and look at Bree, and there'll be a news link story there for the story.
Right.
All right, and then what's our last eBay bit?
Well, just to let people know, our good friend Patrick Burns from the show Haunting Evidence also has an item up on eBay, and it's his thermal imaging camera.
Oh, that's right. The one he actually used that, right, on like season 1?
Yes, he did.
Very cool.
He's used it on the show. You can find the link at ghosthounds.com, or you can go to his MySpace page. It's www.myspace.com/ghostgeek.
Ghost Geek, right.
Ghost Geek. It's a really cool item. Go bid on it. Believe me, it's well worth it. Those cameras are so pricey, and it'd be really cool to get the one off the show, I think.
No doubt. Yeah, you get one that was actually on the show. Well, thanks a lot, Bree. We appreciate the stories this week. We'll have you back again next week in a whole new slew of weird news from around the United States, huh?
Definitely.
And I can't get it out of my mouth, Tim. It's
weird news and stories of the thing with the guy over there by the news.
That's right. All right. Well, Bree, thanks again, and we're going to see you out at the Halloween party as well, right?
We are.
Great.
I'll be out there.
We'll see you then.
All right.
You guys stay tuned. We're going to be back with some Tech Talk and our good friend Bill Murphy after this. You're listening to Darkness Radio. Good evening. Welcome back to Darkness Radio. You're tuned in with us every Saturday and Sunday night. We appreciate that. We're here to talk to you about all the weird things that go on in the world, talking everything about ghosts, UFOs, Bigfoot, and beyond. And tonight we're going to be talking about near-death experiences with our guests. We'll be back after the top of the hour with our guests talking about near-death and dying, how to prepare people for that, and kind of the grieving process. This is something that's always been a big challenge to me in life, so and has haunted me, literally. So we're going to talk about that. But talking about haunting me, Tim, we're going to go to our next guest. All the way from California, we've got Charlie Murphy. Mr.
Murphy.
Bill Murphy is on the line with us. Hey, Bill, let's talk. Are you still looking for film footage and evidence for the TV show you're working on?
Well, we did get all segments already shot.
Okay.
And actually, we even got more than the ones that we needed. So they've all been submitted to the network, and then they're picking the best that they choose from the ones that have been submitted, and there will be the airing, which will happen on Halloween.
Great. And can you tell us anything about it yet? What channel or anything?
It'll be on Biography Channel.
Biography Channel?
Which is owned by A&E.
Okay.
Your favorite channel.
That's right.
I can't mention the name of the show just yet because their press release still has not gone out. But I will say that I appreciate the submissions by the Darkness Radio guests, and some of those very people that submitted evidence may very well be featured in the show.
Great. Well, we hope to have that happen. All right, let's talk tonight. We're going to do a little tech talk with you, and where are we going tonight? What do you got? What do you got for us?
Well, we have a bit of an update to a story that I touched upon a couple of weeks ago, and that was the infrared strobe light from Creek Hollow, which is a company run by Paul Bradford, and he's updated his strobe, and it now has UV lights. And so you would wonder, well, why do we want to even use ultraviolet? Most people have infrared cameras. But here's a fact that a lot of people may not be aware of. When we're born, as babies, we can actually see into the UV spectrum. The ultraviolet spectrum and the infrared spectrums, for those not familiar with it, are not part of the visible light spectrum.
How do we know that, Bill?
Well, it's easy to do a test. I mean, you can, if you shine an ultraviolet light at a person, they won't even see it. And the same thing for, infrared. You just simply can't see in either one of those spectrums. The cameras that we use actually can see that reflected light, but it then converts it into an image that we can see. So
I know they use a lot of ultraviolet lights with newborns, especially that are dealing with high bilirubin levels and jaundice. They use a lot of ultraviolet light for that too. Is that where do you think that's where they started seeing that the babies could notice the light itself?
Well, that's a good question. I got the information from a book by Richard Palmisano, who researched the subject and wrote Journeys into the Unknown. And what he noted is that we can see UV. Actually, it's really when you start to enter your teenage years that you start to develop a yellowing of the lens in the eye, and it blocks it. We have in our eyes, and most people know, and if they don't, There's the rods and the cones. Those are the optic receptors within the eye. And the cone sees color, and the rods, which is on the side of the eye, your peripheral vision, sees black and white, and it sees movement really easily.
Well, you know what's interesting? I don't mean to get off the beaten path here, but if you're talking about this, doesn't that then beg the question of why, as a child, we're able to see ghosts more frequently? And we're open to that. Is it because that visual spectrum is still open to us, and it's not so much that we learn as we grow up to not see ghosts, but it's as our eyes age and adjust, it just automatically stops being visible to us?
Yes, I think that's a theory that's worth considering. I think that could be why children may see other people in the room that we don't see, and they point to a corner, and they may be laughing. They may be even seeing relatives that are passed on that are coming in and enjoying the baby's company.
Boy, I'd love to do some testing with mediums and psychics who claim to be able to see spirits and do some ultraviolet testing and see if they can notice the light. That'd be kind of an interesting little twist, don't you think?
It would be an interesting twist, although there's a little gotcha there. In order for us to be able to photograph or videotape UV, we have to get a UV-sensitive camera here in the U.S., but unfortunately Homeland Security and the federal government blocks the sale of these cameras in the United States. They're used for forensic analysis. For example, they could be bodily fluids in a crime scene, and you can go in with a UV camera, and if you spray it down with luminol, the area, and then you come in with an ultraviolet camera, it can show where there may have been a crime that can occur, that would have occurred. So they don't really allow people to necessarily just go buy them. If you go to eBay, for example, you won't find them on eBay in the United States. They're used for medical applications, so you can detect skin cancer. They're just underneath the skin. As I already mentioned, forensics. The federal government uses them for observation.
Okay.
So they're not that easy to get. You can submit a form, and basically it's an agreement that you will allow the federal government to intrude upon your business at any point that they choose to.
Well, that seems like a fair trade. Oh, wait, no, it doesn't. All right.
Well, you can use UV photography for artistic purposes. So it doesn't mean that you have anything to necessarily hide. You can go shoot some outdoor scenes, and it has a different look. There is a little complication with a full spectrum camera, and in that infrared, visible light, and UV all have different focal points. So as you focus on one band of reflected light, the other band of reflected light would then be blurry and out of focus. And if you have a camera that can take in all three of those segments, you'll have ringing and you have blurred areas. So it's a bit tricky to use them. I'm very interested in actually obtaining a UV camera, but unfortunately a lot of them is either going to be a still camera or it's going to be just a camera that you then have to use a computer and record to the hard drive. I really haven't found any UV video cameras on the market.
Well, we got about a minute left. How can people get more information on the full spectrum lights and the strobes and the things, UV strobes that you were talking about?
Well, you can actually go to any of the sites that cover the Ghost Hunters International show, because Barry Fitzgerald is the one that kind of brought this into the paranormal investigation realm. And then from there, there's links all over the place. I started Googling it and trying to get other stories and try to understand the science behind it, and that's when I discovered that you really can't get them that easily in the U.S. However, you can get a camera, a digital camera, and you can have it modified. You can disassemble it, and you can take off the UV filter and the ultraviolet filter, and there you have it, a full-spectrum camera. And one final note, Dave, I want to share with people. Because it seems like with peripheral vision, you can see images in the UV spectrum. Another way that people can get around it, and it's very low cost, is to use a mirror. The same research that was used for UV shows that these shadow figures and shadow people can be seen more easily in a reflective surface than they can when you look directly at them. So.
All right, very cool. And next week, Bill, you're going to help us on Sunday night with a new guest that you're bringing to us, right?
That is the plan. I may have to call in remotely because I will be out of town. I'm going to an event. I'll be giving a presentation there. But yes, next Sunday we're going to have an event that pertains very much to the research you've been doing, Dave. So we look forward to that one.
All right. Can you give me any information to tease people with for next Sunday?
Yes, I can. The people that we're going to be bringing on have developed ways, and they teach others how to photograph and videotape unidentified flying objects. And they also have researched the human-alien hybrid phenomenon.
Excellent. Well, Bill, thanks again as always. We'll talk to you next week. And thank you all for tuning into the show. We're going to be back with our guests. We're going to be talking about near-death experiences. And going through the death process itself. So stick with us. You're listening to Darkness Radio right here.